I just wanted to share a very special thing that I have. It's called celiac disease, which a ton of people have, so it doesn't really make me special. But if you're celiac or you know a celiac, you know the ordinary struggles that you have to deal with. The biggest issue for me is being around food with gluten in it. It smells so good. I'll literally ask my friends if I can smell their food. Puppuccino's pizza or McDonald's french fries. I would love to eat them. I can just taste it by smelling it. I love the smell of school pizza and school lunches so much that I have to eat lunch in the library now. Which is cool because I can study and do homework because I'm a nerd. It's cool. And I have 99 problems, but gluten ain't one. Okay, so let's start from the beginning. Number 1, I used to get teased for having weird looking food. I would get peer pressure to eat gluten, like from my brother and my friend at camp to try to make me eat beef jerky. People are like, oh, is that contagious? It's obviously not. Don't be stupid. You can't have cupcakes at school for your birthday. When you're going over a friend's house, you have to have just a little rice cake in a bag while they're munching on their Cheetos over there. You have to pretend you aren't bothered when you see your friends shoving gluten-free food in their faces when inside you're just like, give me some, I want some. Getting a crumb of gluten in you can make you puke for hours. Getting those said gluten attacks, they usually happen during special events that I have, like on Thanksgiving 2 years ago or on my dance recital this year. When your celebrities are going gluten-free to lose weight, I'm like, no, gluten-free food is all carbs and fat. You're not going to lose any weight, and it's torture, so I don't know why you want to do that. Sometimes I forget to tell the waiter to don't put croutons on the salad, and then they put the croutons on, and then I tell them that, and then they pick them off. I'm like, are you trying to poison me? My neighbors have celiac disease, so I get to steal all their food, borrow their food from them when I'm babysitting, which is really nice because they have awesome food. Gluten-free food is all frozen and refrigerated, so during Hurricane Sandy, I lost all of my food, and I didn't really have anything to eat except for tuna fish, which is disgusting. I didn't feel like eating it. Having staff meetings at my new job, my boss is like, oh, have some cupcakes, have some cookies. I can't eat them. And there's Dunkin' Donuts right across from my work, so I like to go and get some hot chocolate there, and then when I'm in there, I'll just smell the donuts and be like, oh, I want these donuts. The bakery section in grocery store is hell for me. I opening the doors to the muffin cabinets and Mom's like, shut the doors, people are looking at you. I'm like, I'm sorry, but you can eat them and I can't, I want them. I get to guilt trip my parents into buying me food. I eat chicken on Thanksgiving. Chicken, not turkey, chicken. A gluten-free loaf of bread is $7, so I'm destined to be broke. I have to check all my makeup labels for gluten. Most DMA chapsticks have gluten in them too. When you find out your favorite shampoo or lotion has gluten in them, you have to throw it away. When you know that your brother has a gene for celiac disease, so you might get it someday, and that means no more beer for you. Well, he made fun of me for it, so he deserves it. Seriously right. When you know more about celiac disease than your doctor, but it does prepare you for the medical field, which I want to go into, so it's helpful. When I was at Children's Hospital for a bone infection right over here in my face, someone stole my gluten-free kids meal that I put in my freezer with my name on it, and who wants to steal it because one, it tastes like crap, 2, the wrappers found in the trash, and 3, the gluten-free cafeteria was closed, so I couldn't have any dinner that night. When you find a delicious-looking gluten-free item that has traces of wheat in it, cross-contamination which ruins thousands of gluten-free products that you could possibly have, dog treats aren't gluten-free. The British Beer Company and Uno's and the Outback and Not Your Average Joe's are phenomenal restaurants, and Not Your Average Joe's has this delicious bread and dip there. It's the most delicious thing I'll ever have. But the other restaurants aren't gluten-free, and they have gluten-free menus, but they really don't. Having a salad doesn't mean you have a gluten-free menu. The Kit Kat commercials on TV are torture. Watching the Food Network is really depressing. When I'm watching it with my mom, I'll be like, oh, I wish I could have that food. It looks so good. A lot of medicines aren't gluten-free. Talking about gluten to my friends and they don't understand my problems. My friends don't understand my obsessions of ravioli and stuffing ice cream sandwiches and chocolate chip cookie dough ice cream. It's not the best stuff in the world. I would die to have that because my stuff is gross. My parents won't let me travel abroad because I might starve to death. My food might be taken away at the borders because it's suspicious. I called Chex Mix when I was 12 and asked them to make gluten-free Chex Mix, but they never did, which was really depressing because I love Chex and I used to love Chex Mix, but they still won't make it. People ask me stupid questions like, is pizza gluten-free? No, not the pizza you eat. And when people ask stuff like, so what can you eat? I answer rocks. Dirt. It's pretty delicious. full of minerals. When I have multiple options at a gluten-free restaurant like the Outback, you can get the Sinful Cindy Sundae or the Chocolate Thunder from Down Under. I love it. I sometimes run out of gluten-free Rice Krispies. That's a major sin. I love Rice Krispies. Betty Crocker chocolate chip cookies are delicious. I could eat those all day. I'm trying to make gluten-free recipes and failing. I used to have to sit outside Jewish restaurants while I had my food because it wasn't kosher, so I wasn't allowed inside. My brother openly flaunts gluten in my face. He'll be like, oh, look how good this is. I can eat it. You can't. Thanks, Michael. I'm allergic. Well, it's not an allergy, but I'm allergic to beer and all the other alcohols, most of them. So I'm the designated driver. Thinking that you can go to an ice cream place and get a nice little scoop of ice cream in a bowl. No, it's contaminated. The gluten-free section of Wegmans is amazing. Their products are so good there. Realizing that I'm going to have all gluten-free food in college. Crap. It's going to suck. Pictures of people's food on Facebook, I deactivated mine, but it was really stupid when I was watching it on the newsfeed because that's what Instagram is for, which I also think is stupid. So keep it on there. People giving me weird looks because I have miniature rice bread, which is like this big. Arsenics in rice, which is a celiac's major food group. Don't want to die. Sometimes my sensitive friends forget that I have celiac disease, and so they'll just like whip out some gluten food and be like, oh, do you want this? No. You have to have blood tests and endoscopies. You get major sympathy from teachers. One of my friends says she'll go gluten-free for me, and she lasts like less than an hour. Good. When you're trying to find a gluten-free place on vacation, you end up with a frozen mac and cheese. Bread baskets, like at Not Your Average Joe's, are fantastic and delicious. Olive Garden doesn't know how to cook pasta. They call it al dente, but it's basically not cooked at all. Rock hard. I get to bake a lot, so I'm pretty decent at cooking. My neighbors and family will buy me expensive gluten-free stuff and bake for me. I hate getting offered any kind of glutenized food because I really want it, but I can't eat it. And when my friends do that to me, I'm like, you insensitive jerk. Not getting an opinion on where we should eat. I don't get a choice, so we just go somewhere and usually the food sucks. Telling someone that I'm having a gluten tap to get out of something. Hard work. When the melting pot buys me gluten-free bread when I tell them that I'm going there, because it's delicious there. When my teachers bring in candy and food for rewards for us and I can't eat it and I have to say no. It's depressing. But during school events, I'm always everyone's favorite because I can get them extra food and stuff because I can't eat it, so that's good. When people say, can't you just eat the frosting? Can't you just scrape it off? No, because if I do, you can drive me to the hospital so I can puke out my guts. I hate going to movie theaters because I hate the smell of the popcorn there. It makes me nauseous. During French food projects, I can't eat the food. Sometimes when I'm making gluten-free pasta, I forget to stir it and it clumps together, so it's basically inedible. I have to have separate jars of peanut butter and jelly and margarine and fluff and whatnot from the rest of my family, and sometimes it gets contaminated and I get very upset. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, okay. Up until I was 8, I was wicked short, and then once I went on a gluten-free diet, I started getting taller, so I'm pretty tall now. I'm like a giant. Almost 5'6". You should be pretty intimidated by me. I made a lot of friends at Camp Celiac, which is nice. I hate trying to explain celiac disease to dumb people. Trying to buy cheap gluten-free food, it's impossible. Oats aren't gluten-free. I've made that mistake many times. They never are, despite what people tell you they're not. My school won't make me a gluten-free meal despite legal whatever. They're supposed to. Like, they're legally obligated to make me gluten-free food. It's impossible to survive at an airport or Foxwoods with a gluten-free diet because there's nothing you can eat there. There's no gluten-free fast food. When people say something like, oh, you can't have sugar because you're gluten-free, right? No. Don't be stupid. Stay in school. Learn that in like 9th grade bio. The moment when you realize you can't have birthday cake anymore, just like little gluten-free cupcakes. When people try to convince me that what I'm eating isn't gluten-free, it obviously is because I've had this for 8 years, so I know what it is. When you run out of Nutella, because Nutella makes gluten-free food taste so much better. The smell of homemade bread as it's baking in the oven, and like it fills the kitchen with this heavenly scent, and it's awesome. But then, after a few years, you get too lazy to bake it, so you get the really crappy store brand. Once you realize that you won't die from it, celiac disease is pretty good compared to other stuff you can have. I hate carnivals because you can't get the food there, and like fried dough is my favorite food ever, and it smells so good and I can't eat it. I miss all my favorite holiday foods like stuffing and apple pie and delicious stuff like that. Food commercial on TV. We get it. Stop with the Kit Kats. No one likes them that much. Oh, just kidding. I love them so much. People tell me that corn has gluten in it. Stupid. When I was little, I was convinced like those little stalks that grew in your yards, like little wheat things. I thought it was actual wheat, so I was scared to go in the yard. People think you're an automatic weirdo because of this. It's not true. People who think going gluten-free is a choice, it's not. No one would ever choose to do this. Not wanting to touch gluten, but you realize that it's inevitable. That you're going to have to. Like when I have kids someday, I'm going to have to make them food and stuff. Unless I have a really nice husband who will make me food. Doubt it. At work, I get free cake, but I can't eat it. And the last one, number 99, Dr. Oz. I emailed him several years ago asking him to be on a show so I could talk about celiac because he's an adolescent, and he never emailed me back. I'm extremely upset over that. So that's it. So 99 problems associated with celiac disease. Bye!